Well, howdy there, folks. Gather around your screens, because old Grandpa Joe here has got a doozy of a story for you. It's one of those tales that'll tug at your heartstrings and then sock you right in the gut with a twist. We're talking about John Hargrove, a sharp-as-a-tack businessman from the bustling streets of Chicago. John's in his mid-40s, built his empire from nothing but grit and late nights. Hargrove Industries, making millions in tech gadgets. But here's the kicker. John's as single as a dollar bill in a piggy bank. No wife, no kids, just him in his corner office overlooking Lake Michigan. One crisp autumn evening, John's burning the midnight oil when his phone buzzes. Unknown number. He picks up thinking it's a client. Mr. Hargrove? This is Nurse Ramirez from Mercy General Hospital. Your wife just gave birth to a healthy baby boy, but she's in the ICU. Complications during delivery. You need to get here quick. John freezes, coffee mug halfway to his lips. My wife? Lady, you got the wrong guy. I ain't married. But the nurse insists. Sir, your name's on the admittance papers. Emily Hargrove, please hurry. Now John ain't one to spook easy. But something about that name, Emily, rings a faint bell from his past. He grabs his coat, hops in his sleek black SUV, and speeds through the city lights to the hospital. Heart pounding a bit more than he'd admit. Pulls up to the ER, flashes his ID, and they usher him to the maternity ward. There she is, hooked up to machines, beeping like a bad symphony. A woman in her 30s, pale as fresh snow, unconscious, and in the bassinet nearby, a tiny bundle with the shock of dark hair, just like John's. The doc pulls him aside. Mr. Hargrove, your wife's stable for now, but it was touch and go. Hemorrhage after birth. The baby's fine though. 7 pounds, 2 ounces. John stammers, this ain't my wife. I don't know her. But then they show him the forms. His signature forged. His details spot on. Who the heck is Emily? And why drag him into this? As he stares at that innocent little face, a wave of unexpected emotion crashes over him. Fatherhood? Nah, impossible. But curiosity, and something deeper, keeps him there. Little did he know, this was just the bait in a trap set years ago. Stick around, kids, because part 2's where the past comes knocking. All right, young'uns, settle in with your popcorn or whatever you city folks munch on these days. Grandpa Joe's back with part 2 of John Hargrove's wild ride. Last time, our boy John found himself staring at a baby and a mystery woman in the ICU, claiming to be his wife. But let's rewind the clock a spell, because every good story's got roots, and John's go deep into heartache. Flashback 20 years. John's a fresh-faced kid out of college, working entry-level at a startup in the Windy City. That's where he met Emily Carter. Bright blue eyes, laugh like wind chimes, the whole package. They fell hard, got engaged under the fireworks at Navy Pier. John dreamed big, white picket fence, couple kids, the American dream on steroids. But life ain't always fair. Turns out Emily was seeing his best buddy, Mike Donovan, on the sly. Mike, that snake, was John's roommate and co-worker. One night, John walks in on him. Heart shatters like dropped glass. Emily packs up, marries Mike quicker than you can say betrayal, and they skip down to California. John? He channels that pain into fuel. Starts his own company, grinds day and night, turns Hargrove Industries into a powerhouse. But deep down, that scar festers. He hears through the grapevine that Emily and Mike hit rough patches. Mike's gambling habits, their marriage crumbling. Last he knew, they had a kid. But that was ages ago. Back to the hospital. John's pacing in the waiting room, when a detective shows up. Badge shiny. Name's Officer Riley. Mr. Hargrove, we got a tip this might be foul play. The woman's real name's Emily Donovan, formerly Carter. Ring a bell. John's gut twists. His ex. How? Why? Turns out, Emily checked in under Hargrove, papers forged with his info. The baby's birth certificate lists John as father. DNA test. They'll need one. But visually, that kid's got John's chin dimple. As Emily stirs in the ICU, John sneaks a peek. She's older worn, but it's her all right. Whispers escape her lips. John. Sorry. Had to. Before she slips back under. Emotion hits John like a freight train. Anger, confusion, a flicker of old love, but then the doc drops a bomb. Emily's condition's worsenings. If she don't pull through, that baby's an orphan. Or is he? John's mind races. Who forged those papers? Mike? Some enemy? Revenge brewing in his veins already. Hold tight, folks. Part 3's where the plot thickens, like good old gravy. Hey there, story lovers. Grandpa Joe here, sipping my black coffee and ready to spin. Part 3 of John Hargrove's saga. If you're just tuning in, catch up quick. Our hero's knee-deep in a hospital drama with his ex-fiancée in the ICU, a baby that might be his, and forged papers pointing fingers his way. Now things get juicy. John ain't one to sit idle. He hires a private eye old pal named Sam Wilkins, ex-cop with a nose for dirt. Dig deep, Sam, John says icedly. I smell a rat. Meanwhile, he sticks by the hospital, bonding with the little tyke they named Alex, after John's late dad according to the forms. Holding that baby, feeling his tiny grip, stirs something paternal in John. Tears well up. He ain't felt this vulnerable since the betrayal. Sam reports back fast. Boss, Emily's been living rough. Divorced Mike 5 years ago. He cleaned her out in the settlement, gambling debts piled high. She moved back to Chicago last year, working odd jobs. But get this, she was seeing a fertility doc, Dr. Hollenvoss, shady type, with a clinic in the suburbs. Turns out, Emily couldn't conceive naturally after a miscarriage with Mike. She opted for IVF, but funds were tight. Papers show she listed John as spouse for insurance. Forged his SIG, sure, but why? Deeper dive. Mike Donovan's back in the picture. He's working for Voss's clinic as a consultant. Smells like a scam. Sam uncovers emails. Mike blackmailed Emily into the fraud. Drag John in, or I take custody of our old kid, he threatened. But why John? Revenge. Years ago, when John built his empire, he outbid Mike's new company on a big contract, ruining him financially. Mike's been stewing, plotting this elaborate setup to frame John for abandonment or worse, maybe even sue for support. Emotional whirlwind for John. Visiting Emily, he hears her confession in a lucid moment. John, I never stopped loving you. Mike forced me. The baby's from a donor, but I wished it was yours. She flatlines soon after, leaving John devastated. Holding Alex, grief mixes with fury. DNA confirms, not his biologically, but that don't matter. He files for guardianship. Now, revenge mode kicks in. Targets Mike and that crooked doc. Buckle up, kiddos. Part 4's the storm brewing. Well, bless your hearts for sticking with old Grandpa Joe through this roller coaster. Part 4's here, and it's where John Hargrove turns from victim to vigilante. In a smart, legal way, mind ya. After Emily's passing, John's world shifts. He buries her quiet like in a Chicago cemetery, flowers on the grave, Alex in his arms. That baby becomes his anchor. Court grants temporary custody. John's got the means to provide, and no one's contesting yet. But rage simmers. Mike Donovan's the puppet master, with Dr. Voss as accomplice. They cooked up the scheme, use Emily's desperation, forge docs to lure John, then expose him publicly for abandoning his family. Plan was to blackmail him for hush money or tank his rep in the business world. Mike's motive? Pure spite from that lost contract. "You ruined me, Hargrove," an old voicemail reveals. Sam digs up more. Voss's clinic's a front for insurance fraud, stealing donor samples, faking records. John plays it cool. He invites Mike to a settlement meeting at a neutral coffee shop downtown. Mike shows smug as a fox in a henhouse. "Well, well, Johnny boy. Heard about Emily? Tragic. But that kid's mine by rights. She was still legally tied." John smiles thinly. "Sit, Mike. Let's talk." Over lattes, John lays out the evidence. Hacked emails, legally obtained, via Sam's contacts. Witness statements from clinic staff turn in state's evidence. Mike bails. "You got nothing." But John's ahead. He tips off the FBI, white-collar crime unit. Raids hit Voss's clinic that night. Feds find forged files, embezzled funds, even identity theft rings. Mike's arrested at home, cuffs clicking as his new wife watches in horror. Emotional payoff? John visits Mike in jail. "You took Emily from me twice, you scum. Now you'll rot while I raise a boy who'll never know your name." Mike spits venom, but John's walking tall. Back home, John's mansion feels warmer with Alex's coups. He hires a nanny, balances board meetings with bedtime stories. But the revenge ain't done. He sues the clinic into oblivion, donates proceeds to fertility charities in Emily's name. Heart mending, but scars remain. One last twist coming in part 5, folks. Don't wander off now. All right, my dear viewers, Grandpa Joe's winding down this epic with part 5. If you've been riding along, you know John Hargrove's journey from bewildered bachelor to avenging dad. Now, let's tie it up with a bow. Emotional, satisfying, and full of that sweet American spirit. Months after the arrests, Mike Donovan's trial hits the headlines. Guilty on all counts: fraud, blackmail, manslaughter, ties to Emily's stress-induced complications. Judge throws the book. 20 years in federal pen. Dr. Voss? Same boat, clinic shuttered, license revoked. John testifies calmly, voice steady. They preyed on vulnerability, destroyed lives for greed. Media dubs him a hero, but John's just relieved. No more shadows. Emotionally, it's a rebirth. Alex, now toddling around John's revamped home office, toys mixing with tech prototypes, becomes his world. DNA or not, that boy is his son. John starts a foundation, Emily's Hope, helping single parents and scam victims. Speaks at events, sharing his story. Life throws curveballs, but you swing back harder. Finds love again? Maybe. A kind-hearted lawyer named Sarah met during the case. Slow burn romance, nothing rushed. But the deepest revenge? Living well. John expands Hargrove Industries, mentors young entrepreneurs, even visits Mike's old kid, Emily's first, offering college funds anonymously. Break the cycle, he tells Sam over beers. Flash forward a few years. Alex's first school play, John in the front row, tearing up. Remembers that fateful call, how it shattered, then rebuilt him. Folks, that's the tale of John Hargrove. Proof that out of betrayal blooms strength and revenge tastes sweetest when served with justice. If this yarn touched you, like, share, and subscribe for more from Grandpa Joe. Got your own stories? Drop them in the comments. Remember, life ain't always fair, but with heart and hustle, you can turn it around. God bless, and see ya next time.